I now introduce the pre-recorded statement of Ms. Charlize Theron, eminent person actively engaged in the response to HIV/AIDS, United Nations Messenger of Peace, and founder of the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project.
Thank you, UNGA President Bosquier and Deputy Secretary General Mohammed, for bringing us together today. And thank you to UNAIDS Executive Director Bian Yama for all you do to fight HIV/AIDS. I also want to thank you, Yana, for sharing your story with us. With all due respect to their excellencies, you are the most important person we will hear from today. I hope that the commitments this body makes over the next 2 days and the work we all do after that reflect and empower voices like yours. You remind me of Aya, a young activist who works with one of our partners in the Eastern Cape. The first time I met Aya, she stood on a stage in front of a room full of people, and she said, "I don't want change next year. I don't want it next month. I want it now, and I plan to wake up tomorrow and make it happen." Today, I'm here for you, Yana, for Aya, for the young people across my home country of South Africa and around the world. 6 years ago, this body unanimously agreed to end AIDS by 2030. I'm proud that South Africa and a handful of other countries are on track to meet that goal. But while we have made some significant progress as a global community, we're still missing the mark, and people are paying the price with their lives. There's one simple reason we're missing our goal: inequality. Because the fact remains, whether you live or die from AIDS is still too often determined by who you are, who you love, and where you live. Vulnerable and key populations most likely to become HIV positive are least likely to have access to the services they need to survive. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens by design. At the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project, we see firsthand how gender inequality and gender-based violence fuel the HIV epidemic among young girls and women. In Southern Africa, 8 out of 10 teenagers who become HIV positive are girls. And gender-based violence not only causes deep physical and emotional damage for survivors, it also leaves them much more vulnerable to HIV. Sadly, most of these girls lack the power, the information, the access they need to make choices that could save their lives. Of course, it's not just women and girls. It's transgender people, sex workers, and men who have sex with men. It's people who inject drugs, people in prison. It's migrants, refugees. If we want to end AIDS, we need to design prevention programs that meet the needs of these key populations. Most of all, we need to stop blaming, shaming, and discriminating against people in need and start creating the enabling environments that can provide real help and hope. These supports should include quality education, as well as sex education in and out of school, safe and user-friendly healthcare services, and the ability to make choices about their own bodies, about their partners. And if we want to end AIDS, we must respect and protect the rights of everyone, everywhere. We can't keep prioritizing the people who are politically safe to save. Our experience and investments in AIDS have shown us what works. We just have to expand and target those life-saving efforts and ensure they reach the people who need them most. We missed our targets for 2020, but our goal is still within reach. We can end AIDS by 2030, we really can, but we cannot afford to lose focus, not even for a second. If we do, we'll keep failing people. We are failing people. We're failing Yana and Aya. The first time I met Aya, she wrapped me in a hug and she called me sissy, and she's right. We are all sisters and brothers, and we cannot afford to value some family members more than others. It's fundamentally unfair. It's deadly. It's a global health apartheid we must dismantle. So let's start treating each other like the family we are. Let's make prevention treatment and support services more accessible for the most vulnerable, And let's find the emergency flexibility to make HIV treatments and even COVID vaccines more readily available to those in developing countries. Let's adopt a bold political declaration with the tools and targets, the rights and resources we need to reduce inequality and end AIDS. And let's each of us make a personal declaration too. Let's follow Aya's example. She wants change now, and she wakes up every day to make it happen. I want change now, and I plan to wake up tomorrow and make it happen. I hope you will too. Thank you.
I thank Ms. Charlize Theron for her statement.